The attempted assassination of Donald Trump has opened a dark new chapter in America's history of political violence. It's a real shocker, especially since the country is already feeling super divided. Targeting a former president right before he's about to accept the Republican nomination, that's a big no-no for democracy and our right to pick our leaders. On July 13, 2024, Donald Trump, who was the top pick for the Republican Party in the upcoming presidential election, survived an assassination attempt while speaking at an outdoor rally near Butler, Pennsylvania. A 20-year-old named Thomas Matthew Crooks from Bethel Park shot Trump in the upper right ear with an AR-15 rifle from the roof of a nearby building. Crooks also killed one person in the crowd and seriously injured two others. The Secret Service's counter-sniper team ended up shooting and killing Crooks. In the video of the attack, you can see Trump clutching his ear and hiding behind his lectern, while Secret Service agents protected him until the shooter was taken down. Photos by Associated Press photojournalist Ivan Vucci showed a bloodied Trump pumping his fist and shouting, "Fight, fight, fight," as he was escorted off stage. These images quickly went viral. Trump was treated at a hospital and released the same day. He made his first public appearance 2 days later at the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee, wearing a bandage on his ear.
First time in the entire event we have seen the former president visibly since the attempted assassination this past Saturday. So the crowd has been on its feet since the last probably 3 minutes since the former president just walked into the facility. He's not on stage yet, but he has arrived. They have a camera shot of him, and the crowd just erupted here.
The incident was a major security failure for the Secret Service, worse than any since Ronald Reagan's attempted assassination in 1981. The agency's director, Kimberly Cheadle, faced calls for her resignation and stepped down the day after testifying before Congress. President Joe Biden called for an independent review of security and urged for less heated political rhetoric. Misinformation and conspiracy theories spread online after the shooting. Lawmakers pushed for better security for major election candidates, and the Secret Service then added extra safety measures like bulletproof glass at Trump's rallies. Background: at the time of the shooting, Donald Trump was the leading Republican candidate for the 2024 presidential election. The attack occurred just 2 days before the 2024 Republican National Convention was set to begin in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This incident came after a previous security scare in 2016, when someone attempted to grab a security officer's gun at a Trump rally near Las Vegas. The rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, was planned well in advance. On July 3, 2024, it was announced that Trump would hold a rally on July 13 at the Butler Farm Showgrounds in Connoquenessing Township, close to Butler. By July 10, an advance team was on-site preparing for the event. They set up various logistical elements, including generators in a large open field to support the rally's infrastructure. This rally was a key part of Trump's strategy to secure votes in Pennsylvania, which is considered a swing state with significant importance due to its 19 electoral college votes. To bolster the event's impact, David McCormick, the Republican nominee for the U.S. Senate in Pennsylvania, was invited to appear on stage. The appearance was aimed at rallying support for McCormick's Senate campaign and strengthening Trump's position in the state. Security arrangements. Before the rally, the Federal Bureau of Investigation had no specific information about threats. However, the Secret Service had already increased Trump's security detail due to intelligence suggesting that Iran might be plotting against him. The acting Iranian foreign minister denied these claims, stating they sought a legal path to address Trump's actions related to Qasem Soleimani's assassination. U.S. Representative Mike Kelly suggested to the Trump campaign that they move the rally to a venue that could accommodate a larger crowd than the Butler Farm Showgrounds. The campaign's response was, "We appreciate your input, but we've already made up our minds." The Secret Service usually screens and monitors nearby buildings, including those outside the main security zones. For this rally, security was set up with an outer perimeter managed by state police and an inner perimeter with Secret Service agents. There were also 4 counter-sniper teams on duty, 2 from the Secret Service and 2 from local law enforcement. One of these teams, consisting of local SWAT officers, was stationed inside the AGR building. Pennsylvania State Police handled security in Connoquenessing Township, while Butler Township Police were responsible for traffic control. All rally attendees were screened for prohibited items, including weapons. Shooting. On July 7, 2024, Thomas Matthew Crooks visited the Butler Farm Showgrounds, the site for Trump's upcoming rally, and spent 20 minutes there, even registering to attend. On July 12, he practiced with his rifle, a DPMS Panther Arms AR-15 style rifle that he had bought from his father at a shooting range. On the day of the rally, July 13, Crooks purchased a 5-foot ladder and drove to the rally site in the morning. By mid-morning, Beaver County SWAT officers were stationed at the security perimeter. Crooks later left the site to buy 50 rounds of ammunition and returned to the rally at 3:35 p.m., bringing his rifle and an explosive device in his car. He wasn't screened by security since he was outside the main security perimeter. Around 3:50 p.m., Crooks flew a drone for about 11 minutes to survey the area behind his planned firing position. At 4:26 p.m., a local countersniper noticed Crooks near the southernmost AGR International warehouse. The countersniper sent a text to his team about Crooks, indicating he might be aware of the police presence. By 5:14 p.m., another countersniper, who had seen Crooks underneath the warehouse, photographed him and observed him using a golf rangefinder. This raised further alarm. The countersniper tried to locate Crooks, but he managed to escape the search with the help of 4 other officers. Crooks was spotted between 20 and 30 minutes before the shooting, and several officers noted his suspicious behavior near security checkpoints. These concerns were communicated to the Secret Service. Trump arrived on stage at about 6:03 p.m. and started speaking at 6:05 p.m. At 6:06 p.m., Crooks climbed an air conditioning unit to reach the northernmost roof of the AGR International complex. He then crossed several roofs to reach his firing position on the southernmost roof, roughly 400 to 450 feet from the stage. Although the building had 3 police snipers assigned to cover the rally, none were stationed on the roof due to a shortage of personnel. Several witnesses saw Crooks on the roof with a rifle and reported it to the police minutes before the shots were fired. The roof slope and some obstructing trees made it difficult for Secret Service snipers to spot him. At 6:08 p.m., a local officer reported someone on the roof. This led to a search operation where at least 4 officers focused on the roof and nearby areas. During the search, a Butler Township officer who had been hoisted up to reach the roof encountered Crooks. Crooks aimed his rifle at the officer, causing him to fall and injure his ankle. This was the first time law enforcement realized the person on the roof was armed. Immediately following his confrontation with the officer, Thomas Crooks began his shooting spree. Just minutes into Donald Trump's speech around 6:11:33 p.m., Crooks fired 8 shots into the rally. His gunfire struck Trump and 3 other individuals in the crowd, resulting in 1 fatality. Within seconds, a Secret Service sniper took Crooks down, ending the threat. The sudden burst of gunfire caused chaos among the rally attendees, who quickly reacted by yelling "duck" and seeking cover. During the incident, 2 shots were fired at Crooks by law enforcement. The first shot, fired by a member of Butler County's Emergency Services Unit, forced Crooks to halt his attack and reposition himself. Secret Service counter-snipers who had initially been looking in the wrong direction quickly adjusted their aim and fired a second shot, fatally hitting Crooks just 16 seconds after he started shooting. The first bullet grazed the upper part of Trump's right ear. He instinctively raised his hand to his ear and dropped down behind his lectern for cover. Secret Service agents rushed to shield him and once the immediate danger was over, helped him get up. Blood was visibly dripping from his ear and face. Despite offers from the agents to put him on a stretcher, Trump declined and instead asked to retrieve his shoes, which had fallen off during the chaos. As he was being escorted off stage, Trump raised his fist, pumped it at the crowd, and chanted, "Fight, fight, fight." This act of defiance was met with cheers and chants of USA from the crowd, who were initially confused and thought he might be dead. In a reflective moment after the event, Trump described how the crowd's reaction showed their initial fear and sorrow, and he wanted to assure them that he was okay. He also credited a large chart displaying immigration statistics with possibly saving his life. Just before the shooting, Trump had turned his head to point at the chart. He believed this movement reduced the profile of his skull, potentially preventing a fatal headshot. Trump later remarked, "If I hadn't pointed at that chart and turned my head to look at it, that bullet would have hit me right in the head." After the shooting, Trump was taken to Butler Memorial Hospital, where he received treatment for his injuries. Aftermath. Following the shooting, Donald Trump was rushed to Butler Memorial Hospital for examination. The Secret Service quickly put the hospital on lockdown following an emergency plan created in 2020 for situations like this. The lockdown lasted about 3 hours, with security provided by the Secret Service, FBI, Homeland Security, Pittsburgh Police, and Butler Police. Shortly after Trump's arrival, a Secret Service spokesperson confirmed that he was safe. Trump's motorcade left the hospital around 9:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time and headed to Pittsburgh International Airport. He flew to Newark Liberty International Airport in New Jersey and spent the night at Trump National Golf Club Bedminster. Security was ramped up at Trump Tower and the Republican National Convention following the incident. About 2 hours after arriving at the hospital, Trump posted a statement on his social media platform, Truth Social. "I want to thank the United States Secret Service and all of law enforcement for their rapid response to the shooting that just took place in Butler, Pennsylvania. Most importantly, I want to extend my condolences to the family of the person at the rally who was killed, and also to the family of another person that was badly injured. It is incredible that such an act can take place in our country. Nothing is known at this time about the shooter, who is now dead. I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear. I knew immediately that something was wrong and that I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin. Much bleeding took place, so I realized then what was happening. God bless America. For the week following the shooting, there was no detailed information released about Trump's medical care. Representative Ronnie Jackson, Trump's former White House physician, made brief statements about Trump's injury and treatment on July 20 and 26. However, Trump's attending physician and staff at Butler Memorial Hospital did not comment, leaving some questions about Trump's diagnosis and treatment unanswered. Theories about this attack on Trump. Misinformation, disinformation, and conspiracy theories about the assassination attempt also quickly spread on social media, gaining popularity within minutes of the shooting. Some theories claim the shooting was part of a deep state coup, while others suggested it was staged by Trump to elicit sympathy and influence the upcoming election. A common thread among these theories was the notion of a second shooter positioned on a nearby water tower. This theory draws a parallel with the discredited grassy knoll conspiracy theory from the JFK assassination.
Riding in his motorcade in 1963. An investigation concluded he was murdered by former Marine Lee Harvey Oswald, who had lived in the former Soviet Union. CBS News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe has more on what the documents say.
What really happened that day?
It was the 1991 release of the movie JFK by director Oliver Stone that revived conspiracy theories and prompted a new law ordering the classified documents related to the Kennedy assassination be released by October 2017. But then President Donald Trump pushed back the release date, citing national security concerns, and President Biden gave agencies until yesterday to release most of the rest.
President Biden believes all information related to President Kennedy's assassination should be released to the greatest extent possible,
which proposed the existence of a second shooter on a hilltop. Supporters of the water tower theory point to numerous photos and videos captured by news cameras and rally goers. These materials are now being analyzed by vloggers and social media influencers. The conclusions drawn by proponents of the second shooter theory vary widely. Some believe Thomas Crooks, identified by federal investigators as the lone gunman who set up to take the fall with a second shooter on the water tower, silencing him afterward. Others speculate that the second shooter was the actual attacker, an expert marksman who orchestrated a bloody spectacle for a false flag operation. Joseph Kosinski, a University of Miami political science professor who studies conspiracy theories, noted it's not shocking that people are talking about second shooters. There's really nothing new under the sun. This sentiment reflects the recurring nature of such theories across different historical contexts. A second shooter theory began circulating just hours after the shooting, gaining traction even among some members of Congress. Senator Ron Johnson, RWIS, known for promoting debunked conspiracy theories about the 2020 election and COVID-19, mentioned on Fox News that he had seen videos suggesting the FBI's single shooter narrative might be incorrect. He expressed skepticism about the FBI and Secret Service's transparency and called for independent investigations to verify the truth. In response to Johnson's claims, his communications director, Kirsten Pelz, clarified that the senator was merely seeking more evidence and information to ensure a thorough investigation. She emphasized that the senator was not making definitive claims about the existence of a second shooter. The FBI stated the day after the shooting that their investigation confirmed the shooter acted alone. Anthony Guglielmi, a spokesman for the Secret Service, also affirmed there was no evidence supporting the presence of a second shooter. He stressed that the Secret Service was committed to understanding the incident fully to prevent future occurrences and was cooperating with Congress, the FBI, and other relevant bodies.
Well, the latest we've got is a full statement now from the Secret Service, and that has confirmed a number of the details we've been reporting on BBC News for the last couple of hours. They say there was a shooter who was on an elevated position outside the farm show ground where the rally was taking place. That tallies with what our eyewitnesses have been telling us. They say that the two people are dead. One is the shooter, one is someone who was inside the crowd, and two other people are now critically injured and presumably in hospital. President Trump has also said that he was hit by a bullet. He says it tore through the skin of the upper part of his right ear. And if you just think about that for a moment, that means it is inches. I mean, an inch away from going in his head. So that is how close the former president came this evening to getting a bullet in the head.
During a hearing before the U.S. House Committee on Oversight and Accountability, Representative Mike Waltz, R. brought up online rumors about multiple shooters and criticized Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle for not doing more to debunk the misinformation. Cheadle, who testified at the hearing, resigned shortly afterward. She stated that Secret Service agents had not been stationed on the water tower and asserted it would not be something that would be included in a security plan. She also confirmed, "I do not have any information related to any second shooter." The second shooter theory, like the grassy knoll theory, relies heavily on eyewitness accounts from a chaotic scene. Erin, a rally attendee, reported to NBC News that a man next to her claimed to have seen a sniper on the water tower. Other accounts mentioned multiple shooters, but these were often based on preliminary, unverified observations. Despite the rapid spread of the second shooter theory, experts like Catalin Grigor, director of the National Center for Media Forensics, and Haney Furid, a digital forensics expert, had criticized the quality of the evidence supporting it. Grigor has noted that the videos were too poor for forensic analysis, and Furid agreed, stating that the evidence was unreliable due to compression and camera motion. The theory has nevertheless gained significant traction on social media, with posts on X receiving millions of views and tens of thousands of shares. Influencers like Ryan Oatchurch, a YouTuber and musician, have contributed to the speculation, questioning the coverage of the water tower in the videos. Upchurch himself has expressed doubts about the presence of a second shooter, citing practical challenges. Conspiracy theorists, including well-known figures like John Cullen, have used shaky videos and speculative analysis to support their claims. Cullen's popular evidence includes a blurry video of the water tower that purportedly shows a crouching agent. Experts have dismissed this video as inconclusive and unreliable. Joseph Ushinsky highlights that conspiracy theories do not require polished or convincing evidence to spread. "You don't need AI-generated video, and you don't need fake content," he said. A 2-second video of anything is going to look out of place if you're inclined to think something was wrong. The rapid spread of the second shooter theory underscores the ease with which misinformation can proliferate in the digital age. Eyewitness accounts, poor quality videos, and the power of social media have all contributed to the persistence of this theory. As we navigate this era of information overload, it is crucial to approach sensational claims with skepticism and rely on verified, credible sources. The second shooter theory serves as a reminder of the importance of critical thinking and transparency from investigative bodies. By prioritizing accurate information and maintaining a commitment to truth, we can better guard against misleading narratives and contribute to a more informed public discourse. Investigation. The FBI is spearheading the investigation into the assassination attempt on Donald Trump, working in conjunction with the U.S. Department of Justice National Security Division, the U.S. Secret Service, and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. The investigation is examining the incident both as an assassination attempt and as an act of domestic terrorism. Thomas Crooks' body was found on the rooftop where he had fired shots. He was initially without identification, but the FBI confirmed his identity through fingerprint biometrics and DNA profiling. At Crooks' residence and in his vehicle, authorities discovered explosives and a remote transmitter. Additionally, he owned 2 smartphones and at least 1 laptop. FBI laboratory staff promptly conducted mobile device forensics on Crooks' smartphones, which involved bypassing the device's security measures. This process likely utilized a Cellebrite device or another undisclosed method, as noted by an Electronic Frontier Foundation researcher. The forensic analysis revealed that Crooks had searched for images of Trump, Biden, and other public figures, as well as dates related to Trump's rallies and the Democratic National Convention. There were also searches related to major depressive disorder, although it has not been determined whether Crooks had been diagnosed with this condition. Notably, on July 6, Crooks searched for information about Lee Harvey Oswald's distance from John F. Kennedy during his assassination and had registered for Trump's rally on that date. The FBI also discovered that Crooks had flown a drone near the rally site 2 hours before the attack. What we know about the Trump attacker. The small Pittsburgh suburb of Bethel Park in Pennsylvania is in shock following the FBI's identification of a young local man as the shooter who targeted Donald Trump during a campaign rally. Investigators believe that 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks, armed with an air-style rifle, fired at the former president while he was addressing a crowd in Butler, Pennsylvania. The shooting resulted in the death of 1 audience member and injuries to 2 others. Crooks was killed at the scene by a Secret Service sniper. The incident has left the community reeling as they come to terms with the tragic events and the involvement of one of their own. Thomas Crooks, a 20-year-old from Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, has been identified by the FBI as the person who attempted to assassinate Donald Trump during a rally in Butler, about 70 kilometers, 43 miles, away from his hometown. Crooks, who graduated from Bethel Park High School in 2022 with a $500 prize for excellence in maths and science, had worked in the kitchen of a local nursing home. He passed all background checks and raised no concerns among his colleagues. Crooks attended Community College of Allegheny, CCAC, from 2021 to 2024, graduating with high honors in engineering science. State voter records show he was a registered Republican, but he also donated $15 to the liberal campaign group Act Blue in 2021. He held a membership at the Clairton Sportsman's Club, a local shooting range with facilities for high-power rifles. The Air-style rifle used in the shooting was reportedly purchased by Crooks' father. Authorities have noted that Crooks bought a box of ammunition containing 50 rounds on the day of the rally. Despite the seriousness of the act, officials have yet to determine a clear motive. Investigators are examining his phone and other digital evidence, and his family is cooperating with the FBI. Crooks had visited the Butler County Fairgrounds, the site of the attack, at least once before the shooting, and had searched for symptoms of depressive disorder on his phone. Additionally, he had looked up images of both Donald Trump and President Joe Biden. The FBI has conducted over 200 interviews and reviewed 14,000 images as part of their investigation. While authorities believe Crooks acted alone, they are still exploring whether he was accompanied to the rally and continuing to investigate the case. The picture of Thomas Crooks is a complex and conflicting one, revealing different facets of his personality and life. Locals who knew Crooks during his school years describe him as a loner who was often bullied. Some recall him wearing hunting outfits to school, contributing to his image as an outsider.
A kid that was always alone, he was always bullied every day.
However, Summer Barkley, a former classmate, painted a different picture, describing Crooks as a student who excelled academically and had a strong passion for history. She noted that he was well-liked by his teachers.
But from what I have heard in the government classes, is that also never struck anyone as strange or off, which is why it was so shocking to us, because we saw him as just this very kept to himself type of person. So it wasn't a type of person that we were like, yes, keep an eye on him. It was just a huge shock to anyone who knew him, close or not. It was just not something that we would have ever seen coming.
Others remember him as quiet but intelligent, with some classmates finding him a little weird, but not particularly noteworthy beyond that. Staff at Angelo's Pizza in Bethel Park, where Crooks was known, shared mixed impressions. Owner Sarah Petko and her staff described him as a loner and expressed difficulty in reconciling his quiet demeanor with his violent actions. A classmate mentioned that Crooks was not skilled in shooting, and despite rumors of him being on the rifle team, the school district confirmed that he never tried out or appeared on any roster. The conflicting accounts suggest a multifaceted individual, making it challenging to understand the full scope of Crooks' motivations and background. The discrepancies in how people remember him reflect the broader complexity of his character and actions. Latest investigations: assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump has led to significant scrutiny of the U.S. Secret Service, resulting in multiple agents being placed on leave. At least 5 agents, including the head of the Pittsburgh field office and members of Trump's detail, are under review. The exact reasons for their leave are not fully disclosed, though it could be related to the ongoing investigation or routine procedural measures. The Secret Service's Internal Affairs Division is examining the operational failures that allowed the 20-year-old gunman to fire from a rooftop during Trump's rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. The investigation aims to determine how such a lapse occurred, especially given the serious nature of the attack, which included a shot that grazed Trump's ear. Anthony Guglielmi, a spokesman for the Secret Service, has indicated that the agency is committed to upholding high professional standards and will take necessary actions if policy violations are confirmed. Disciplinary actions can range from administrative leave to suspension, with varying degrees of impact on the personnel involved. The Secret Service's handling of the event has been criticized by Congress, leading to the resignation of then-Director Kimberly Cheadle.
The director of the Secret Service resigned today, one day after admitting the assassination attempt on Donald Trump was the agency's most significant operational failure in decades. As CBS's Scott McFarland reports, Kimberly Cheadle drew sharp criticism from both parties.
She faced intense questioning but did not provide detailed information about the investigation. Acting Director Ronald Rowe has since taken over and expressed a commitment to addressing the issues exposed by the attack. Congress has formed a task force to investigate the incident, demanding records and detailed briefings from federal, state, and local agencies. The scrutiny has extended to the Secret Service's procedures and response. In response to the shooting, Trump held his first outdoor rally since the attack, taking additional security measures, including the use of bulletproof glass. The attack on Donald Trump is noted as the most serious attempt to kill a U.S. president or presidential candidate since Ronald Reagan was shot in 1981. The incident has sparked widespread discussion among political scientists, historians, and politicians, many of whom attribute it to the increasing political polarization in the United States. In the wake of the shooting, there was a notable surge of sympathy for Trump across social media platforms. Public figures from both domestic and international spheres condemned the assassination attempt and called for a reduction in political tensions. This broad consensus highlights a shared concern about the escalating divisions within American politics and underscores the urgent need for unity and de-escalation. What you really think about this attack on Trump? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section.